Hello everyone. Let's make a tortilla warmer today. I'm starting off with a fat square, folding it in half long ways, then in half again. With this, I'm going to be able to cut 2 circles using my handy dandy Fisker circle cutter. I measure it to cut a 10-inch circle. It also comes with a rolling blade that makes it super simple, just like that. There are my 2 circles of my exterior fabric. I also cut 2 circles of interior and 2 circles of batting. Now I'm going to place my exterior fabric pretty side up. I'll get an interior fabric pretty side down. Since this is a solid color, it really didn't matter what side I used. Then I'll put on my cotton batting. Once we have all that lined up, we'll go ahead and use clips to clip it all together, making it easy to transport to the sewing machine, making it easier to sew and keep all of our layers together. What we'll do here is mark a location where we are not going to sew, basically our beginning and end, and we'll stitch all the way around. Since I did mark on the cotton batting, I am using clips to show where I marked, because I will be turning it over and sewing on the fabric side of it. Making sure to back stitch a couple of times at the beginning and the end. We'll go ahead and sew all the way around using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And if you see there, the middle layer was sticking out a little bit, but that's okay. Just as long as you keep your presser foot on the edge of that top fabric, everything will turn out great. Now we're coming to the end, and we're going to back stitch several times. That's going to keep the fabric from separating when we're turning it right side out. Snip away the extra threads we have there. And then we're also going to cut the excess. This will help with the bulk, keep it to a minimum once we turn it right side out. I'm just going to trim all the way around. And when we come to our opening, we're going to do not cut all the way over our opening, just finish the trimming right before the opening. And you'll see right here. There we go. Because we want to be able to have that fabric right there to turn in when we close up the tortilla warmer. Pulling it right side out may be a little tedious, but you just gotta keep going carefully, pulling and tugging without ripping those seams that you just created. pulling out all the edges as much as we can by hand. And let's head over to the ironing board. So what I use is actually a metal skewer. I use the handle part to press out the edges. Sometimes I would use the other part, but I really don't want to use that pointy part because if I press too hard, I'll rip through my seams that I just sewed. So I'm just rolling out the edges as much as we can and ironing so it can be flat and easy to work with. So at the opening there, what I'll do is cut off the excess cotton batting. This will help our fabric fold in. And when we're cutting cotton, we gotta make sure not to cut our fabric. We just fold it in and try to continue the curve of the tortilla warmer when we fold in those cotton pieces. Do a little press, fold in on the other side, trying to keep it the curve. There we go. Now at the sewing machine, I like to use a little clip just to hold the folded pieces together. And we're sewing with I believe it's an eighth of an inch close to the edge so we can grab those open ends and seal them shut. And we just top stitch all the way around. Making sure the back space, back stitch at the beginning and the end. Cut off those excess threads. And there we have it. Of course, we make 2 of them for each tortilla warmer. Now we will line them up as carefully as possible, also using clips to hold it together. I like to use clips where I will be sewing, and then of course we'll leave the opening as the part where we'll insert tortillas in, right there. Once we get ready to sew, we want to make sure to back stitch several times. This will help our tortilla warmer stay together and not separate when in use. And then put that end downward. And we're back stitching several times. And there we have it. One LollyMade tortilla warmer. Thanks for watching.